Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to a brand spanking new Matt Kim podcast. I don't even know. Do we change the name of this show now that we're trying new things? Not exactly sure. Let us know. Man, we've been spending all day for the last 24 hours trying to figure out how do we restructure the show? How do we do maybe something different? Because we are getting a lot of requests for more content out there, more reactions, more news coverage. And it's not easy. Not easy trying to figure out how to do things new. So we have a lot of new toys that we're playing with. We're going to try it in a very new format. I want to say before we go, I want to say hi to producer Will, our cousin Will, who's going to be making a regular on the show from here on forward.
What's up, guys?
Great intro. Thank you.
Thanks.
Amazing. And this is going to be more of a solo show. We're going to be talking about the news topics of the day, of the week. And it's the same studio, obviously. But we're trying new things. I feel like we're in a time where we need to reiterate. We need to maybe expand what our show has been. Because so far, we've tried a lot of different things. We've tried the podcast. And we have those weekly conversations. Those are not stopping, by the way, with Peter. Those aren't going away, but those are been once a week for the last 2 or 3 years. But we need to add more. We've done the streaming, and we will do these. We're still on the fence if we want to do this show live or as our pre-record. Maybe let us know in the comments. Would you rather see it live or the pre-record gives us a little bit of flexibility in timing. So we'll play with that as it goes on, but since this is the very first time we are trying this, we want to pre-record. Gives us a little bit of room for error. The way the format of the show is going to go moving forward is that we have about 6, 7, 8 topics. I don't know how long the show actually goes, so this is kind of trial run number 1. It's maybe an hour show, maybe a 2-hour show, maybe some days it's 45 minutes, some days it's 2 hours. I don't know yet, but we're trying to come up with a more systematic process and way to do it. So be patient with us. Understand we are in full experimentation mode. In the light of being experimental with our ideas, I've been working on this thing for the last, I'm not going to say a very long time. I've been working on it for about 24 hours, and really our first iteration just happened today. It's this idea of having a AI co-host. And I know it sounds so crazy, right? That we are there in society. But what if we had an AI co-host? Would that be weird? Would that be just so over the top? Or is that where we're going anyway? And are we just groundbreaking and revolutionary and first to market on? I don't know. But for the first story of the day, wait, did we give her a name yet? And she's not she's not final form, by the way. She's not final form. She's just, what would you call her, the beta test or the alpha test? Because she's really try number 1.
I think we can let the comment section name her, and then we'll choose the best one.
Yeah, like, do we call her Miss SAR?
I don't think she's a SAR. Not yet, at least.
Not yet.
Not this first iteration.
Dude, should we have a AI SAR co-host? Would that be really funny? Should we make her do it in the accent? How funny would that be?
That might be a little offensive to some people.
Would that be? It's not me, it's the AI.
That's true.
I feel like if we have an AI co-host, we can be like, we didn't say it, the AI said it. Maybe it gives us a little bit of separation. Dude, can we just have her say the most racist shit out there and be like so bad? I don't know. Maybe we'll try new things. But first story of the day, and for the first time ever, revealing maybe what will be the new AI co-host. Again, not final form, just iteration number 1. But I think it's an interesting idea. Let's try it.
Broken promises from many
No,
other
that's not it.
A new investigation claims Iran's June 13th missile strike on Tel Aviv may have hit more than just an apartment tower. According to the Gray Zone, the target may have been a secret U.S.-Israeli command bunker hidden beneath the Da Vinci Towers, a facility allegedly known as Site 81. The report says Site 81 functions as a joint military intelligence hub for command and control operations, buried directly under a civilian complex less than 100 meters from a playground. When the strike hit the North Tower, Israeli forces quickly sealed off the area and removed journalists, including Fox's Trey Yingst, fueling speculation that something sensitive was below ground. The investigation relies on leaked emails, satellite imagery, and U.S. contracting records. One 2013 U.S. Army Corps photo, described as a basement test site, appears to match the Da Vinci layout. And a leaked exchange between former NATO commander James Stavridis and ex-IDF chief Gabi Ashkenazi mentions a contract for command and control networks at Site 81. Funding trails reportedly show U.S. contractors, like Oxford Construction, receiving payments for Phase 2 expansion work as late as 2019. The site also remains blurred on Google Maps and blocked on several satellite platforms, which investigators say points to deliberate censorship. Critics note that if Site 81 really does exist under residential towers, it could amount to human shielding, placing civilians above a military target. That irony isn't lost on observers, given that Israel often accuses its adversaries of doing the same. The bunker may be part of a wider underground network linked to Israel's known Fortress of Zion and the Pit command centers beneath Tel Aviv. Together, they form the backbone of Israel's air defense and intelligence coordination system. While neither the U.S. nor Israel has confirmed Site 81's existence, the implications are serious. If accurate, the June 13th strike shows Iran's missiles can hit high-value command sites, and that urban warfare has literally moved beneath civilians' feet. The story raises tough questions. Should secret military infrastructure ever sit under residential buildings? And in a world where every target hides in plain sight, what counts as a safe zone anymore?
So, interesting story. They found a secret underground bunker. They call it Site 81, and it's between an apartment complex in Tel Aviv. And the reason why this story is so interesting is because for the last 2 years, we've been told that Hamas and the Palestinians, Hamas is hiding amongst the Palestinians. That's why we are nuking, and that's why we are bombing the hospitals and the schools and the apartment buildings, because they're hiding underground. They're hiding in the tunnels. They're hiding underneath, and they're using human shields. Well, isn't it interesting? After all that rhetoric over the last 2 years, what we actually find out is that Israel has been doing the same exact thing. And the hypocrisy of how it operates is just, it's wild. This was the premise, and this was kind of the beginning of the 13-day war as they are coining it now. The war between Iran and Israel, and they're shooting people, and they're going to kill each other. And Trump came in and said, hey, look, I saved the day. I get it. But is this really the reason why that entire thing started? Is a real reason because they were hiding military targets underneath where people live. And they said that it was 100 meters? How far is 100 meters, Will? 100 meters.
It's like the length of a football field.
That's like a 100-meter dash. It's like what Usain Bolt runs, right?
Right.
100 meters from a children's playground and adjacent to a community center. If you're going to put military operations amongst the population, is there, I wonder, is there an actual rule against that? Are we allowed to do that? I don't think so. I think that goes against the rules of engagement of war in order to hide military compounds within the population. I don't know if that's an official thing or not. Maybe that's something we can look into at a later date. But regardless, this is the story that's out there. It is trending right now. Not a lot of people are covering it for obvious reasons. I wonder how much this story will go. Because again, this was the justification for the entire war, 13-day war. But if it is a thing, should we be looking, and it also mentioned that there's this fortress design so that there are other underground command infrastructure underground, underneath kind of these apartment complexes, underneath where people live. Why are they hiding everywhere? And is this something that we can look at? That being said, is that weird to have an AI co-host? Like, did she talk too much? Is she too long? Do we need to shorten it up?
I think we could have shortened it up.
I mean, it was kind of a first go at it. And I don't know if that's interesting or not.
And also, I looked up having a secret military base embedded in civilian property is a violation of the principle of distinction in laws of armed conflict.
So say that again. So you're not allowed to. I mean, okay.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do it.
In all fairness, I don't know if this is being fair or not, but a lot of things Israel did within the war is not fair or allowed.
That's true.
Like, you're not supposed to use chemical weapons. That's why they call him a war criminal.
They definitely broke a lot of rules of engagement.
You know, I have like so many places I want to go with this. First, I want to talk about kind of this idea of hiding underground. But I'm still stuck on this AI girl, by the way. Should we add her? And I don't know if again, this is iteration number 1. And I know that we're kind of missing the main news story here, but I'm fascinated with this idea of having an AI co-host.
I like the idea. I think the execution of this one was just not like finished. You know what I mean? It's not production quality.
It's a first go at it, but maybe it'll improve. I think that if we had an AI co-host to kind of drop the initial facts of the story and kind of set it up so that we have something to react to, so we're not sitting here reading a news story all the time, I think that may be interesting. It also adds an interesting dynamic, but I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. What do you think about having an AI co-host? And some people are like, no, like you can't let them in. You can't let them in. But like, it's inevitable, isn't it? Do we comply? Do we do it? Do we know that it's knowingly AI? And I don't know why her hands didn't move and they were just why she's holding the pen the entire time. And I know maybe some of the women would flame me for like picking some girl with a crop top. It was one of the preset configurations. We'll work on the co-host. That's the thing about an AI co-host. We can change out the look anytime we want. Is it weird that it's kind of realistic, but not really? But it's kind of realistic. Like, she breathes and stuff.
Yeah, but she's still like overly stiff.
Maybe we go to an upgraded model. Maybe we need to upgrade. So I ran into this other story, thinking about burying things underground. And when we're talking about burying things underground, I ran into a story about how South Korea in Seoul, they're going to build the first civilian nuclear bunker. And they're going to build the nuclear bunker under a housing complex also. And the purpose of this is to protect civilians from a nuclear, chemical, or biological attack, a recognition that North Korea's nuclear threat is now permanent. So they're going to use the narrative of, North Korea, they're going to nuke, there's going to be a problem, etc., etc. And because of that, there is a new housing complex that's going up, and underneath, they're building a nuclear bunker. How do you feel about having a nuclear bunker underneath you? Do you feel like it's necessary? Pull up this picture real quick, because it's going to be the targeted completion date for this complex is 2028, and they say it's going to cost 3.4 billion won. And when you read it in a headline, and it's like 3.4 billion won, it seems like a lot of money. But actually, if you do the conversion, because 3.4 billion won, they're saying that they're going to spend $2.5 million to build this nuclear bunker. And when I think $2.5 million to build a nuclear bunker, it actually doesn't seem like a lot. It almost seems like it's a gimmick in order to sell more apartments and call it luxury. But really, like $2.5 million for a nuclear bunker, it just doesn't seem a lot. So the capacity of this is supposed to hold up to 1,020 people. It's going to give you 14 days of independent survival. And it's supposed to be 3 stories below ground. approximately 2,000 meters, which is crazy again because we go back to the Israel story and to say 2,000 meters underground, and the children's playground was only 100 meters away from the building that they bombed. It's supposed to be equipped with a decontamination zone, sanitized areas, independent water and sewage systems, and it's designed to resist nuclear, chemical, biological weapons, and EMP attacks. But here's the kicker to this entire thing. Well, okay. First, 16 residential buildings up to 22 stories high, 1,240 apartments, meaning that every resident won't fit in the bunker. We'll go back to that. The most interesting thing about this is that they are planning, because what do you do with a nuclear bunker when it's not being used? It's going to be a fitness center during peacetime. So it's a fitness center during peacetime, and if there's ever a nuclear attack,
that's 2,000 meters underground. Who's going to go down there to work out?
3 stories below ground. You're going to go underneath ground to work out in this bunker. And dude, can you imagine being stuck down there and all you wanted to do was get a workout in? That's pretty wild. But if this apartment complex houses 1,240 apartments and you average, say, 2 people per apartment, is that a fair number? 1.7 people per apartment?
Yeah.
Then you're talking about maybe 2,500 people. But it only holds 1,000. How do they decide who gets to go down there in the nuclear attack? And what does 14 days of independent survival in a nuclear attack do actually?
Slows down your death.
Isn't that all that's doing? It seems kind of like a gimmick. Because do you want to go down there? Would you buy this apartment, Will?
Not based off of the bunker.
I mean, but it comes with a bunker. It's a fitness center and a bunker. Get your workout in and have 14 days of survival so that you can come outside after 14 days and you can die anyway?
Yeah.
Okay, here's a real question. Would you rather, in the case of nuclear war, would you rather go instantly, or would you like to survive 14 days to only slow die anyway? That's a really interesting question. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if I would rather...
Because your instinct's going to be to self-preserve as much as you can, right? So instinctively, you're going to be like, yeah, let me get the 14 days, hoping there's going to be more than those 14 days, when in reality, there's only 14 days. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if the nuke goes off, then it's going to take more than 14 days for anyone to get to you, number one. Number two, as soon as you walk out, you're going to be contaminated and you're going to get all kinds of shit and you're not going to survive anyway. So, and if anything, you're going to die slower. And, I mean, if Seoul got nuked, like, what is there to go to? Like, you're the only 1,000 people that survive for 14 days? But there is a growing support for South Korea to build their own nukes, to build, because right now North Korea has them, South Korea doesn't have them. They feel like if they had them, then maybe the U.S. can remove themselves a little bit as far as the military is, and South Korea can protect themselves. Because as you know, the only thing in the world that actually protects you is a nuke. So if you're a country, you know, people are like, oh, how come like North Korea doesn't give up their nukes? And I'm thinking like, dude, if I was in their perspective, there is no way I would give it up. It's like saying, you know, like I'm going to give up my guns. Like, no, you know, like there's no reason to do that. Once you have them, you can't just give them up. It's what protects you. It's what keeps you sovereign. How you decide and how you view that sovereignty, maybe that's a different question and maybe a different conversation. But the fact is, it's the nukes that keep you sovereign. I don't see a situation where North Korea is like, oh, dude, we're just going to give them up. I don't see that happening. But I don't know if building a 14-day bunker that doubles as a fitness center underneath the apartment. I don't know if that does anything actually. Maybe we'll find out. I hope not. But let me know. Would you go buy an apartment? Is this a luxury feature, or would you rather have more parking? And I don't know if I want my gym in the basement. I've done this whole basement gym thing, and it's always nice to have a little bit of fresh air in your gym. If you're 3 stories under the ground, can you think about how muggy that must get down there? But if they have an air purification system for the nuclear, then maybe the air down there is clean. But you can't be getting fresh air, because if you're getting fresh air, then you would be getting the nuclear...
radioactive air.
Yeah. Then the nuclear shelter would actually be moot. So I don't know about the recycled air down there either. I don't know.
Is it weird that I used a picture of Kim Jong-un here?
I want to go to North Korea one day. That's like on my bucket list of things to do. I just want to go. I just want to go see what it's like. I've never been, obviously. You can't go because the United States State Department does not allow Americans to go. It's interesting that it is not North Korea that does not allow Americans to go. It is America that does not allow Americans to go to North Korea. So people think, oh yeah, North Korea wouldn't let you in anyway. Actually, no, it's the other way around. The United States does not allow you to go. And the more they say you can't do something, the more I kind of want to do it.
Maybe they'll turn you into a commie spy.
We'll see. Moving on. There is a story headline going around because right now we're in the middle of a government shutdown and everyone's like, well, you can't give illegal immigrants healthcare. You can't give illegal immigrants healthcare. We don't want them to have Medicare. So a story that's kind of circulating right now is that Oregon Democrats are going to give $1.5 billion in free healthcare to illegal immigrants statewide. They just approved a bill for 2025 to 2027 to budget for a program offering free healthcare to illegal immigrants statewide. That is the narrative. That is the headline. That is the story. The funds will go toward the Healthier Oregon program. It's formerly called Cover All People. Now it's called Healthier Oregon. And it would provide full medical, dental, mental health, and prescription coverages to residents regardless of immigration status. People are up in arms. We cannot let the illegal immigrants take all our federal tax dollars. Well, it's an Oregon program. Slow down. But the article that we found says that 105,000 illegal immigrants already receive coverage under this plan. Free healthcare for illegal immigrants, etc. The governor, Tina Kotek, has said healthcare is a human right, and therefore we should give it to everybody. Okay. I understand the uproar. I understand why people are mad. I would not want my tax dollars going to people that I feel like are not contributing into the system. Before everyone gets pissed off, there's a couple of things to note that needs to kind of add context to this story, because a lot of people are talking about the story. Number one, Healthier Oregon, it covers all low-income residents, not just undocumented illegal immigrants. So that needs to be number one. And there are 7 states that have similar programs. So that's California, New York, Illinois, Washington, Massachusetts, and DC. Obviously very left-leaning states. And they offer full Medicaid equivalent coverage for undocumented adults using state funds. In order to qualify, you have to be only residents below 138% of the federal poverty level qualify. So it's not all undocumented immigrants. It is undocumented immigrants and just poor Americans in general. You have to be 138% below the federal poverty line. What is 138% below the federal poverty line? Well, I feel like that's going to be really low. What is that? Like $20,000 a year? Is that what it comes out to? $20,000 a year?
For a single person, it's $15,650.
So you're talking about 138% below. So 15,000, I'm going to call it $12,000 a year.
Yeah. Like that.
For people who make under $12,000 a year, Oregon has a program to give medical coverage. I get that people don't want to pay for illegal immigrant healthcare. The rationale of the Oregon side is that giving them the little bit of Medicaid and coverage is actually cheaper than providing emergency care for underinsured, uninsured, undocumented, illegal immigrants in the course of a long term. Because the way that it works is that hospitals are required to treat with emergency care whoever walks in the door. It doesn't matter if you're illegal or legal or rich or poor or whatever it is. And I don't know what they officially call that, but you have to give coverage, or you have to at least treat those people that walk in the door, regardless of their status. And I think that's actually the right thing to do. I don't know if I want to live in a world where you go to the ER and like, well, like I know you're human and all, but like your insurance doesn't check out, so we're just gonna have to ask you to leave and you can just die in the street. I don't know if anyone actually wants to live in that type of world. So I get it. This is not actually overly easy. This is not easy, trying to figure out what the correct solution is. If you want to reduce the burden on the emergency rooms, then maybe you have to take care of them just a little bit. The obvious solution is, well, we shouldn't have any to begin with. I get that too. I get that you don't want any. But we also need a solution for the fact that they exist. So I don't know how to balance that. I don't want to live in a society where we're just kicking people in the middle of the street because they can't pay for emergency service. I don't want to live in a society where we incentivize illegal immigrants just to come in, just for the sake of getting free services. On top of that, this is only for people who make under $12,000 a year. Arbitrary number, I'm making that up, 138% below the poverty line. So we're not taking care of everybody. These are not people coming in just for the service. I don't know if a lot of people are coming here hoping that, yeah, I'm going to survive in the United States and I'm going to live off $1,000 a month. Maybe they're working cash. Maybe they're staying in front of Home Depot. I don't know. But this is a story. This is what people are uproared about. And I don't know how to transition stories well. Like, we have all these things on our roster. And when we do it live, there's like a chat. But now that we're doing pre-recorded, I'm just kind of like moving through stories. I don't know if this is the right way to do it. This is our first time trying this. Maybe this is like too much information. Maybe we cut this out. No, like we don't cut things out though.
No, let it roll.
Dude, did you see? Have you been tracking what's going on in Madagascar?
Not me.
Can you identify Madagascar on the map?
I believe there's an island, right?
I think it's an island off the coast of Africa.
On East Africa, closer to India.
So Madagascar had a coup. And I love these coup stories because, especially this one.
Is it a coup or just an overthrow? Because a coup means someone directed it to take power.
So Madagascar has a history of government forming because of coup or overthrow or unrest. This is kind of how they operate. So this is very normal to them in a weird, odd way. So there was weeks of mass protest throughout Madagascar because of the power blackouts, because of water shortages, because of inflation, corruption. And it was these young Malagasy. We're going to call them Malagasy. Is that the right word for it?
No idea.
The young Malagasy. The Gen Z of Madagascar. They were just fed up with kind of this elite over too much power, the misrule. I think the thing that triggered them was they decided that they're going to use federal dollars to build a trolley system within the city. And they were like, dude, forget the trolley system. Like, we need money. We are poor. We need help. and you guys are building a trolley system that doesn't even give any value to us. So this kind of what spurred this protest. And the kids were hitting the streets and they were protesting and things were getting a little violent. And the president of Madagascar calls in the military, the local military, the Malagasy military to go quell and put down the protests. There's a guy named Michael Mandrianerini. Sorry, sir, butchering your name. He is a CAPSAT commander, which is kind of this elite division of military within Madagascar. And what they decide to do is the elite military unit that was sent out to put down the protests. They flipped sides and they joined with the protesters. So the elite military unit that is supposed to quell the rebellion, they flip sides, they join the other side, and now they have kicked out the president. The president has fled. He's hiding somewhere in France. This new colonel that runs the CAPSAT, he is now in charge of the country, and they're in this kind of transitional government type of state. The Senate, the Constitutional Court, the Electoral Commission, everything's been suspended. And somehow, the youth, the younger generation, they have pushed back. It really reminds me of Nepal. I feel like we're seeing this trend of the younger generation being fed up with society, being fed up with the elites, being fed up with kind of the direction that their countries are going. And they organize, they protest, and they overthrow government because this is exactly what happened in Madagascar. I don't know what happens to Madagascar. I don't know if... Okay, two things can happen. One is that they figure this out. They do some sort of vote. They elect a new president, and they have some sort of balance again. The unfortunate part of military coups, if that's what this was, is that it could lead them into some sort of authoritarian type of system. And maybe that's what they wanted all along, or maybe that's what the military wanted, which is why maybe it was a coup. I don't know exactly who the backing behind this is. Madagascar is actually a really tiny country. Because I was like, man, maybe did the Chinese do this? Did the CCP do this? Is this a CIA overthrow? Madagascar is Africa's largest island nation. It's strategically located in the Indian Ocean trade corridor. It has rich deposits of nickel, cobalt, and graphite. It is actually pretty integral to the global EV supply chains. China is obviously leading the world in the development of EV. They are mining heavily in all parts of Africa, Congo, cobalt. And all of a sudden, this country overturns. But there's also not a lot of historical precedents of China being involved in overthrow a government. That's really not a China thing. That's really an American thing to overthrow a government. But I'm trying to think where does America benefit in doing this? Or is it possible that this was just completely organic? Is that possible? Is it possible that any of these overthrows of government, when we hear, oh yeah, Gen Z gathered together and they overthrew government, that they self-organized, that in Nepal, they elected their prime minister through Discord. Is it actually possible for these kind of movements to be organic, or behind it, is there always a nefarious actor? I'm kind of curious to know that, actually. I don't know the answer yet. We're going to continue to track this. It's funny because the current president of Madagascar, the one that kind of ran away, he actually became president because he organized a coup himself. And it's what goes around comes around. Maybe if you normalize the idea of having military coups, then maybe that's just a cycle that you're always going to be in. Is it possible for Gen Z to organize and overthrow government? Is that something that can actually happen organically? Or is it all psyop? Because, I'm as black-pilled as everyone else. But then I hear these stories, and I don't know if these stories are there to make me feel like it's possible. Not saying I want to overthrow government, but the fact that regular people can actually enact change, I don't know if it's possible. But it'd be really cool if it was, wasn't it? Wouldn't it be? It'd be really cool if it's possible that people can actually organize and change the system. It kind of gives you a little bit of hope. And maybe it's not ready to happen in the United States yet. Maybe it's not ready to happen in a larger power, although we are seeing kind of the rebellion going on in France and Germany and some of the other larger countries. Could it happen in the United States? Ran into these clips. Are we back on Israel again? I feel like every day I open the news and I'm scrolling and I'm trying to see like what's going on. I'm trying to stay informed. I'm looking for things to react to or talk about on the show or whatever else on the stream. You just can't avoid Israel. Can you? I'm like at kind of this Israel topic fatigue. I'm like kind of over it. But then you get these clips and you watch these videos of like Trump talking about Israel and you're like, oh, I want to move on. But they keep on putting it in your face. And then because they put it in my face, I put it in your face. Not intentionally. But it is something that we're going to react to. So can you pull up this clip, Will? Trump on Miriam Adelson. Well, hold on right here. For people that don't know, people that are not aware, Miriam Adelson is billionaire out of Texas. She was a former owner of the Dallas Mavericks. Although, is she still the current owner of the Dallas Mavericks? She gave Trump $250 million for his last campaign. Actually, a Trump presidency would not exist without a Miriam Adelson.
Yeah, she's still the owner.
Fair to say that he owes her a lot. She has actually, her and her family have been navigating kind of the Zionist world for a very long time, probably one of the biggest donors of it. And she's also part of the reason, to my understanding, on why J.D. Vance is vice president. Let's watch this clip. Trump talking about Miriam Adelson.
Broken promises from many other American presidents. You know that. They kept promising. I never understood it until I got there. There was a lot of pressure put on these presidents. It was put on me too, but I didn't yield to the pressure. But every president for decades said, we're going to do it. The difference is I kept my promise and officially recognized the capital of Israel and moved the American embassy to Jerusalem.
Pause. Can you pause? Is there a pause button here? I think it's really interesting that he says all the other presidents fold to the pressure, but not me. I don't fold to the pressure. And then now he's going to a speech about how they pressure him to do shit. You know what I mean? It's like the awareness sometimes of this guy is, I really liked Trump. But then you see him say things like this and you're like, dude, he doesn't understand the front and the end of his own argument. He doesn't understand the front and the end of what he's actually trying to say. Because he's like, dude, all the other presidents are pressured, but I'm not pressurable. But let me go into a spiel about how I was pressured. Keep on going, Will.
Isn't that right, Miriam? Look at Miriam. She's back there. Stand up, Miriam. Stand up.
Can you pause real quick again, Will? You know, anytime Bibi comes to the United States or anyone from Israel comes to the United States to give a press conference, to give a speech, to give a talk, we notice it all the time, right? it is American flag, Israeli flag, American flag, Israeli flag. And we say, man, why do they have so many Israeli flags there? How come it's not just American flag? Because there's too many Israeli flags. We notice it all the time. That why in a U.S. event are there co-branded with Israel and United States? Why are the flags both there? But then Trump goes to an Israeli event to speak, and they don't even put the American flag. They only have the Israeli flag. Why don't they allow, when Trump speaks, which would be the right thing to do, at minimum, if you want to be some level of fair with how they operate in the United States, at minimum, you would think, even Trump would be like, dude, I see one Israeli flag here, check out the frame, I need the US flag here also. At minimum, you would think he would do that. But he goes to Israel, and they don't want the other flag. Isn't that interesting? All right.
Miriam and Sheldon would come into the office. They'd call me. He'd call me. I think they had more trips to the White House than anybody else I could think of. Look at her sitting there so innocently. She's got $60 billion in the bank. $60 billion. And I think she's saying no more. And she loves Israel, but she loves it. And they would come in, and her husband was a very aggressive man, but I loved him. He was a very aggressive, very supportive of me. And he'd call up, can I come over and see you? I say, Sheldon, I'm the president of the United States. It doesn't work that way. He'd come in and would do. But they were very responsible for so much, including getting me thinking about Golan Heights, which is probably one of the greatest things to ever happen.
Okay. So he literally said in the beginning, other presidents are pressured, but not me. And then he starts a story about how they're so rich and they used to come and call all the time and no one came to the White House more than they did. And they pressured me? The irony. Keep on going.
Miriam, stand up, please. She really is. I mean, she loves this country.
This country meaning Israel.
She loves this country. Her and her husband are so incredible. We miss him so dearly. But I actually asked her, I'm going to get her in trouble with this, but I actually asked her once, I said, so Miriam, I know you love Israel. What do you love more, the United States or Israel? She refused to answer. That might mean Israel, I must say. We love you. Thank you, darling, for being here. That's a great honor.
It's like so weird that he's like so happy to share that moment, you know? The biggest donor of this presidency, the one that used to show up every day to pressure him to do certain things that are in favor of Israel, when asked point blank, do you like Israel more or United States more? And he's like, oh, yeah, you know, I think she likes Israel more. How is that okay? Let's go.
That's the end of the clip.
Oh, that's the end of the clip. So you have this, and you can't help but think, dude, something is not right here. What is going on? And then I ran into this clip of Tucker talking about Bibi. Can we just play this clip in full?
Bibi's running around, this is a fact, I'm not guessing about this, because I talked to people he said it to, is running around the Middle East, his region, and his own country, and telling people, point blank, just stating it, I control the United States, I control Donald Trump. He's saying that, and I dare them to say that's not true. Bibi, not the nation of Israel, not Israelis, and certainly not Jews, whatever that means, the leader, the secular prime minister of a country is doing immense harm to Donald Trump's presidency, to the United States, and to the world. This is an unbalanced person whose only real concern is for himself. He's meddling in an extensive way in American politics. He's loathed by the entire world. He needs the United States. And yet at the same time, he has this patronizing attitude toward Donald Trump, demeaning Trump to people Trump knows, separating from Bibi immediately, I think, is an essential next move. But objectively, that is absolutely necessary and very soon, because he is hurting his own country, our country, and the world. Period.
And then Tucker's going out there saying, hey, Bibi is telling the whole world that he's in charge. You can tell me it's not true, but it's definitely true because I can prove it. And it's like, man, I want to move on from this Israel story. I do. I really do. It's like the juice isn't worth the squeeze. You know what I mean? Like every time you deal with it, we got to deal with like censors and you got to deal with potential backlash. And every time you talk about it, you got to deal with just everything negative that comes with covering Israel. And I don't want to deal with it. But yet, things like this come out and you're like, oh, okay, we have to. We have no choice. I don't know who else has Israel fatigue. I feel like with this ceasefire, which apparently isn't a ceasefire because they're still killing each other and kidnapping each other, but apparently, and they're already like really happy, and Obama said that he's like happy about it, and Biden came out and he was like, oh, look, Trump did such a good job, but thankfully he built on the framework I built, and everyone's trying to come in and take credit for it because there's going to be a big construction project going on. Everyone wants to make sure that they get their mitts in the pot. So everyone's like, oh yeah, this is amazing, this is great. And this is just the beginning. I have no idea where it goes, but I do know that this is not the end of this story. I feel like we're going to be covering this for a very long time.
Did you see, I don't know if this was AI, but did you see there was clips of like the protesters saying, I don't know what to do anymore. I have to get a real job now because I'm going to stop getting paid for protesting.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. Maybe we'll find it. And if we find it, we will play it on the next one. Or how about, because we have an AI clip that you say it may be AI, maybe we have the AI co-host, Miss Sar. What if we have Miss Sar intro it? Would it be interesting to have the AI intro the AI?
Maybe.
Moving on. So, read this article in Futurist talking about how Western executives were shaken after visiting China. And specifically, when you're talking about the executives, you're talking about Ford CEO Jim Farley. They went on this visit to China to see what the factories and assembly lines are like. What they did was they toured the dark factories. The dark factories are factories that are run entirely by robots with minimal human presence. One of the mounting company founders, Andrew Forrest, says trip to China convinced him to abandon in-house EV powertrain development efforts. The Ford CEO, Jim Farley, warned, we are in a global competition with China. If we lose this, we do not have a future at Ford. He also said, the Ford CEO, that he is currently driving a Xiaomi EV that was shipped from Shanghai to Chicago and that he doesn't want to give it up. Isn't it interesting that the CEO of Ford is driving a Chinese Xiaomi EV? Have you been in one of those new Chinese EVs? I feel like TikTok has been like feeding me clips of these new cars.
I thought there was a ban on the import of those.
Well, they are, but apparently if you're the Ford CEO, you can get one.
I guess so.
I think they're available in other countries though. I was talking to a friend of mine in Japan, and he was FaceTiming me from the BYD dealership, which I thought was interesting because it's just in the United States that we don't have these Chinese EVs, but they have them everywhere else. According to the International Federation of Robotics, China has deployed many more industrial robots than Germany, US, and the UK. China is automating proactively to counter its demographic decline, shrinking workforce, and maintain competitive advantage. Beyond automation, China is pushing artificial intelligence aggressively under a multi-year plan, using it as a major engine of economic growth. It's we have a Tesla at home. I'm not like a big Tesla person. I don't like the fact that it yells at me all the damn time. So if I'm driving my wife's car, and for some reason, even if there's no one on the road, if you kind of drift a little bit or it just constantly beeps at you, yells at you, tells you what to do, it's recording everything. And I don't like it, actually. I don't actually enjoy the experience of being in a Tesla. Actually, I had it the other day. Will, you got in it with me. And I was like, dude, I hate this thing so much.
I mean, all the new cars kind of yell at you. They all have like that lane assist or, you know.
Yeah, but you have the option in, like, my Ford Explorer has kind of all the features. But you have the option to turn things on and off. But in the Tesla, you kind of like, dude, these are the rails of control that you'll live under if you're going to drive our car and you have no choice on the matter. I don't love that. I don't like that I can't turn things off. You know, China is going... These dark factories. It reminds me of that Will Smith movie, I, Robot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks just like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, one of the robots wakes up, and you're like, "Oh shit!" They're like super strong. But you know, iRobot. The thing about iRobot is that you have to build it and give it the ability and the tools to be able to be dangerous. Although iRobot, those robots weren't like machine robots, right? They were like actual police robots. Maybe a little different.
No, I think they were machine.
Were they like dark factory building car robots?
No, but they're like autonomous.
I don't know if I like it. I mean, it's coming. The future of robotics is coming. It's coming here. There's actually nothing we can do to stop it. Will it make systems better? I mean, there's be a lot of job opportunities for people who maintain all these robotics, so a brand new industry will emerge. But the idea that robots are doing all the jobs, it's so weird and dystopian. And I say weird and dystopian, and we literally started the show today with the AI co-host. So I don't know where that actually leaves me.
I mean, what if eventually, robots are just going to be able to maintain themselves, right?
So you're going to have the robots that do the building, you have the robots that maintain the robots, and then basically people are just programmers, but then you have AI doing the programming for that also.
Right. So all the maintenance is done in-house.
So what are we going to do?
Run away from the robots.
Into the bunker. That's into the that
4,000
also is a
people.
fitness center, by the way. Maybe we just live in the bunkers. Or better yet, if you just want to merge into the machine, call it a day. Do you know what? I am done fighting AI. I am done fighting robotics. I am done fighting the system of control and surveillance that the dystopian future will bring us. I'm done fighting. Instead, I'm just going to have sex conversations with OpenAI. OpenAI. That's such a weird picture of him, by the way. He looks so creepy. He looks like someone that would molest his sister, by the way. OpenAI's ChatGPT will soon allow erotica for adults. Right now, ChatGPT does not allow you to have sexual type of conversations. It doesn't let you generate sexualized types of images or content. But OpenAI CEO Sam Altman announced that starting December 2025, ChatGPT will allow erotic content for verified adult users under strict age gating controls. The policy shift is a part of OpenAI's new principle to treat adult users like adults, easing previous restrictive filters. Altman said that ChatGPT has been overly restrictive to protect mental health, But now OpenAI claims it has better tools to mitigate risk and so can relax some content limits. In addition to erotic content, users will gain more control over ChatGPT's tone, personality, style, for example, more human-like responses or emoji usage, if they choose to do so. And they're going to rely on an age prediction system to gate access. If the system misclassifies someone, user may need to submit a government ID to correct it. Look, the AI models are pretty good. I use AI all the time, mostly for workflows, mostly for research, mostly to help me create systems and processes. I try to use AI as a tool to help me to do things that I believe that AI should do. But we're going to this, caveat, there are AIs and AR avatars that do adult content, but it is specifically for adult content only. It's like weird sites that you can go on, you can have a chat with your AI avatar. This exists. Fair. But ChatGPT is not a niche adult site. It is kind of a main model. It is one of the few main models that people use. And for them to say we're going to do it, I am a freedom of speech guy. But I also don't know if we want your AI chat to have a personality and a tone and engage in some sort of back and forth erotica, maybe role play, imagery. I mean, look, don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to be really bad for your brain. We already know that overuse of porn is really bad for a male's brain and brain function. We know this for a fact. Unlimited research out there to say that overuse of pornography is really bad for your brain. It's bad for your relationships, that it creates a separation between you and your loved ones. We know this to be true. This is widely documented. To take those same ideas, because really it's not the porn itself, well, the porn also, but it is the unlimited access to the dopamine drips that really creates the biggest problem. It's almost like a drug and a drug addict. But now we're going to give that same level of dopamine access to AI. And in one of the major models, this is, look, I don't want to censor anybody. And I don't even know if I'm advocating for censorship. And I understand that they're trying to put this age gate around it, although I'm not big on this whole digital ID, send in your government ID thing. Eventually, this will be a thing. There's no way to stop this floodgate from opening, actually. My recommendation, very hard recommendation, just don't do it. Because people get so curious. Like, dude, I'm gonna chat with her. I'm gonna chat with Miss Sar. Damn it, dude. I'm gonna chat with Miss Sar, and I'm gonna tell her all my dirty secrets, and I'm gonna have it tell me all the dirty things I want back, and it's gonna be great and amazing, and I'm gonna go. This does not end well. I'm just telling you. This does not end well, and they're gonna make so much money from this. They're gonna make so much money behind the paywall because if you want to have more conversation, and if you want to use a premium voice feature where it makes it sound like a real person, like, do you remember back in the day? I don't know if you remember well, but back in the day when I was younger, there was all these commercials on TV for the 1-800 late night, or 1-800 talk to girls, or 1-800-888 girls or something like this.
Yeah. Or
That used to be the phone sex
Yeah.
commercials were like dominated the TV infomercials at nighttime. And that kind of died away because people got access to unlimited free porn. People are going to sign up in droves to have phone sex. At least then, it was just some like fat chick and it was a girl at least. You know what I mean? But it was like phone sex. What was the show? There was a movie about the phone sex operator that was like a fat girl, fat black girl.
I don't remember.
Anyway, we're going to replace, at least then, it was a woman on the other side of the phone. And yes, they were playing it up. Yes, they were telling you what you want to hear. Yes, it was a thing. Kind of the OnlyFans model. Having an AI chatbot, well, number one, it's going to crush the AI. It's going to crush the OnlyFans market because people are going to realize that if I'm going to pay to talk to this girl who's not really talking to me because it's a guy that's chatting for them anyway, might as well like have a conversation. And they're going to start talking to these girls and people are going to be like walking around and you're going to see all these guys with their headphones on walking around. You're like, who are they talking to? Like, oh, fuck, that's disgusting. You know what I mean? I don't know if we want to do the erotica with Miss R. Damn, dude. If we actually make our AI co-host a thing, people are going to like regenerate her and they're going to have like erotic conversations with her. That's so weird.
No, they're going to taint her.
Do not take Miss Sar's innocence, please. Be respectful of Miss R. Maybe we just like overdid it too much today. You know, maybe we need to like make her more
presentable.
Less attractive.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't have done the crop top.
Yeah.
I didn't sit there and put a girl in a crop top, by the way. It was just an option. But I totally chose it. Okay. Final segment of the day. Did they really say this? Gavin Newsom went on an interview and he was asked about AIPAC. And it's really interesting, isn't it? This video of him talking about AIPAC, it's so interesting. The way he kind of responds and says, AIPAC. And I mean, I've been thinking about it. It's really interesting. And the interesting thing about I think we need to watch it to understand why it's so interesting.
Interesting. You're like the first to bring up AIPAC in years, which is interesting.
I will not vote for a candidate that takes $1 from AIPAC.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I haven't thought about AIPAC. And it's interesting. You're like the first to bring up AIPAC in years, which is interesting. Why did I say that? Not relevant to my day-to-day life.
Okay.
Which is just interesting.
Listen.
It's interesting you say that. JPAC perhaps more, but AIPAC less and less.
Okay. Fair enough.
Which is just interesting.
What's interesting about it?
That it's just interesting as you bring up AIPAC that it hasn't been part of, I'm just reflecting quite openly and honestly, hasn't been part of the day-to-day.
Yeah. The only reason why I ask is because with that, what I'm talking about is lobbying in and of itself.
It's like, it's like, you know, he does this thing when he talks and it's like really interesting because he talks like this and he does this a lot, you know, like it's really interesting because typically they don't talk about, you know, AIPAC, but, you know, the whole world and countries talk about AIPAC, but I've actually never heard people talk about AIPAC before, but, you know, it's really interesting. So what's really interesting? Well, you know, like the fact that we're talking about AIPAC right now, it's really interesting. It's really interesting, isn't it?
I've never seen the guy panic so hard. Because Gavin's like known as this like super smooth politician guy. And then it's like he's never trained up on the idea of being questioned on AIPAC.
Well, what's really funny about that, because you say that, is that if it was Stephen Miller, he'd be like, it's really interesting. And that would have been the end of the conversation. But he at least has a foresight to like just keep on going, keep the lie going, you know? Interesting. No, it's really interesting. No, it's like really interesting that you bring it up. Like we've never actually thought about it before, but it's interesting.
They're both panicking in different ways.
This guy may be the president of the United States one day. Fucking crazy. Let's go next one.
Getting wrapped like immediately. Is that right? How's Caroline doing? She doing good? Should Caroline be replaced?
No. That's up to you, sir.
It'll never happen.
Nobody wants to. I say she does a great job. Do you want to elaborate on
And those lips, they move like a machine gun, right?
Do you want to elaborate on the
Why is that? Who talks like that? This guy's the president of the United States. Those lips, they move like a machine gun. Machine Gun Caroline. That should be like the name. New nickname. Machine Gun Caroline. MGK. Machine Gun Caroline. Who refers to a woman as having lips like a machine gun? I've never even heard that phrase before. And we've talked about this, I think last time, about the idea of there are certain phrases that people say that the only way you say it, like plenary, is because it's a part of your normal rhetoric. Meaning that for him to come up with that on the spot, he said machine gun referring to people's lips before, which is so weird.
I don't know if this is something that just he's said before. I don't know. Like, who says that?
Apparently he does. Machine Gun Caroline. Lips like a machine gun. Da, 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 da. Is that what it's like? Is it because she speaks quickly? Is it... I don't know. They've known each other for a long time. Maybe we're getting into like crazy conjecture and inference. But those lips move like machine gun. There are people out there really mad about it. I'm not as mad. But I can understand why girls would be mad about this, right? It's a really weird way for the president of the United States to refer to a subordinate of his.
But I still think being mad about it is a reach. It's such a reach.
Yeah, this is like corporate America type of deal where if you're a boss, you don't technically like refer to your subordinates in that manner. Actually, we as a society have decided, dude, like you're not supposed to do that to women. It's one thing to like hold them accountable. It's one thing to say they're competent or incompetent or to make them do their job or hire competent people. It's another to be like, oh yeah, those lips. You know what I mean? Those lips like a machine gun. It's I understand why the girls are mad. I think it's weird when people try to defend it. I don't know if it's defendable. I don't know if it's crazy. I think if it was me and you talking, or if it was me and Peter talking, or we were just a bunch of buddies sitting around, I'm like, oh yeah, that girl has like machine gun lips. I'm not really mad at that. It's a good thing. It's not a big deal. But when the president of the United States says that about his direct subordinate, I think that crosses into a territory of, you didn't have to do that. I didn't want to. Oh, no, this is not the last. Okay. One more. Oh, this is kind of, do I want to cover this one? Oh, I'm like so over her. Okay. Just play it. Just play it. Oh, cry.
I'll share with you that I asked our daughter what she would like to say to Daddy for his birthday. She said, "Happy birthday, Daddy. I want to give you a stuffed animal." "I want you to eat a cupcake with ice cream. And I want you to go have a birthday surprise." I love you.
Stop it.
That's what she said.
Lie. My daughter is 3 years old. She would never refer to her dolls as a stuffed animal. It's like your toy, it's your doll, your princess, it's your bear, it's your tiger, it's, it's Mimi, it is. Children do not refer to their toys as stuffed animals, especially at 3 years old. Especially because their kid just turned 3 years old, okay? You don't do that. My daughter does not do that. I don't know any of her friends that refer to their toys and their dolls as stuffed animals, especially at 3 years old. Why is she making up stories?
Maybe she's paraphrasing.
Then why? Then what is she reading it for? She's reading it like her daughter wrote it. She's 3. The daughter did not write the story. It is not a card. She's paraphrasing. Then what is she reading? Why is she pretending like she's reading this? Like my daughter, she wanted to say, happy birthday, and I want to give you my stuffed animal. She didn't say that, and she didn't write it down. What are you looking at? What are you reading? Why not just, if you're paraphrasing, you could paraphrase. Why make shit up? It's like I've just had it with this girl, this lady, so much.
She's reading? She's probably reading her notes where it says, remember to cry and dab your eye. Those are the notes she's reading
and
right
look
now.
up and breathe here and sniffle
that's
here.
That's exactly the cues that she's reading because like every time she makes a speech, it just sounds so fake.
I can't wait for the day, because it's eventually going to happen, because this girl is so scripted. I can't wait for the day that she does the Joe Biden read teleprompter directions, where she's like, pause. You know what I mean? It's really sad what happened, but the theatrics of this woman, it's so off-putting. It makes me so distrustful of everything they're doing. And I don't want to be mad at her. It sucks. If what happened really happened the way it is and there's nothing nefarious going on, which it's unlikely, but it's possible. I don't want to machine gun lip this lady. But the theatrics, the performance of the whole aftermath of Charlie Kirk and his passing, I'm like, I'm so over it. And they have to show her. They have to put her out there. And do you know what the most interesting thing about all of this is? She didn't even wear black at his memorial or when he first spoke. But there was so much public backlash about the way she was dressed, how she came out wearing white, like how it's inappropriate, so she's like, oh, look, the people are really mad about this. Hey, it's his birthday, let's wear black. It's so calculated. I think it's kind of, I'm like over Erika Kirk. I hope this whole TPUSA, Erika Kirk, and I hope it just kind of goes on to the sunset, because I don't even want to hear the crazy Charlie Kirk theories anymore. I'm kind of over that too, because people are like, oh, look at this theory, and then 12 hours later, oh, just kidding, that wasn't actually true either. I'm like, oh, the people chasing the theories are just as bad as the ones that are proposing, as the ones that are covering up the theories. It's just everyone's wrong everywhere. No one's ever going to know what's going on. This is going to be one of those situations where we're going to know the truth, maybe 20 years. Maybe it'll be closed. Maybe oh, we're going to release the JFK files. We're going to release some Martin Luther King files. We're going to release Epstein files. We're going to release the Charlie Kirk files. Maybe 20 years later. On a positive note, can we end on a positive story? Well, because, everything in the news is so negative, and I'm kind of a negative person, although I don't try to be. Let's end on a positive note, Will, because I ran into this story. I was like, oh, really cute. Apparently, in Vermont, a dog. What kind of dog is this?
It's a terrier.
A terrier got trapped between two rocks, like a rock formation, got stuck down there. And they tried to get him out. They tried to figure out how to squeeze him out. All they could hear is the yelping from underneath, stuck between those cracks. They went into the night, couldn't figure it out, couldn't get him out. They went back the next morning. The emergency services crew showed up. They drilled and they picked away at the rocks, and they eventually saved him after 24 hours. The reason I think about this story is because actually, 2 nights ago, I haven't told my wife this happened. 2 nights ago, it was like late at night. I was working late at night, and I opened up the front door to let my dog out, to let Nugs out. And as soon as I opened the door, a cat went running by the front of the house. And Nugs, he's like not very well disciplined. Like he's not well behaved. So this cat goes running by and he goes chasing after this cat like 100 miles an hour. Well, he's fat and slow. So like at 3 miles per hour, running as fast as he could. And he goes into the bushes where the coyote are. Because we have coyote in our neighborhood. And I'm like, oh shit. So it's like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. I'm yelling outside, Knox, come back. And he's like, I can hear him like rustling around in the bushes and in the trees. And I can hear the cat like meow and like swatting at him. And it's like a mess back there. And they're fighting. And I'm freaking out because I'm not going back there. There's like coyotes back there. It's like heavily wooded. And it's like dark as hell, like 3 a.m. And he eventually came out. He went running inside. He went out to pee. He didn't pee because he got so scared because he got smacked in the face by the cat. I don't know if I can get him checked out or not. I just like dogs. And when you hear that they saved the dog, maybe that's like the positive of the day. I don't know. It's not like a huge story. But I just want to tell my dog story. It's the only reason I did this. If you want us to cover other topics, if there are other stories you want us to react to, if you like this format, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Number 2, if you want to support the page, if you want to support the channel, then you can go to patreon.com/freemattkim. That really helps us with our production, helps us grow, helps us figure out how to keep on doing this more and more moving forward. And number 3, within Patreon, there is a chat feature. I'm going to figure out how to get the community section going. So if you are a member of Patreon and you want to submit stories so that we cover them in the podcast and the show, definitely go to patreon.com/freemattkim. Otherwise, let us know what you think about Miss Sar. I think we're going to figure that one after we see the comments. See you next week, tomorrow. We'll figure it out. Have a good day.